Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Kylie, and today we are going to be working on a traveler's notebook. I'm going to be trying to talk a little quieter. The hubby is upstairs asleep, but I thought we would try to get this done. I'm always needing something small to write in. Yeah. So I thought we would try and make a very simple traveler's notebook. I'm wanting to make my own cover out of paper that looks faux leather. So I looked up online and it said that a regular size is 4.76 inches by 8.74 inches. And so it's 12.1 centimeters by 22.2 centimeters. And I thought that I would just try to make one of the inserts to go inside of the journal, and then later, because I don't have time right now, I would make the cover. So I thought, let's see. And see, this piece of paper is not going to be big enough. I could definitely use it as a miss-sized piece, but okay. So the 4.76, I'm guessing that that's what it's going to be when it's folded over closed. So that means I need to double that. So if it's 12 centimeters, it's going to need to be 24 centimeters. See, this piece is not big enough. But I definitely could fold this and put this inside of the correct thing and use it as a page. So I think it would be about this size. Let's just go ahead and make the cover first. The cover for this particular insert. And I'm going through these papers. Sorry guys, I'm making it where you can't see. I'm wanting one that's got something on the right hand side. So I think this would be good. And this is not a double-sided paper, so I'm going to have to use two pieces. I don't know what I want on the inside. I'm going to have some pockets and some things on the inside, so I really don't want something absolutely gorgeous. So we'll go with that because it's kind of the same colors as the front. This is out of the Kirby Tisdale Studio collection. This one is a paper studio, so I got this pack at Hobby Lobby. So move that to the side. Alright, so if sorry, I'm having to think here for a second. This is what it is when it's closed. So I need to do all of this times 2 so that whenever it's folded, it will be this size. So that means it needs to be 22.2 centimeters wide. That's where it needs to be doubled. The length does not need to be doubled, so it needs to be 22.2 centimeters long. And I'm working with the centimeters because this ruler does have centimeters on it, and it's a more precise measurement, I think, than the inches. So basically we're looking at a square. We need a 22.2 by 22.2. Okay, easy enough. So I know I'm going to want this corner as the front. Well, I guess I'm going to have to open this. Man, my brain ain't woke up yet, y'all. And I used to be a coffee addict, and I found out through blood work that I am allergic to coffee. I'm hoping that once I do this elimination diet thing, it's not going to... That's not gonna stick because I need my coffee. Okay, so 22. There with the paper pack in the floor. 0.1, 0.2. So that is just shy of 8 3/4 inches. You know what? To make it easy, let's just say, forget it, 8 3/4 inches. Because I will remember that. Alright, then turn it and do 8 3/4 inches again. Now let's just fold this and take a gander. I do not know why, y'all, my paper cutter does not cut straight. And I mean, y'all seen me line it up. Look at that. That drives me nuts. Drives me bonkers. What am I doing wrong, y'all? What am I doing wrong? And see, what it does right there when I cut it, I can't stand that. Okay, we're gonna cut this one the same way. 8 3/4 inches. Okay, look, proof. It's up in there. The only thing that I can figure is maybe the paper company doesn't make it square. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna put the raw side, not the side that I just cut off of, up there. Okay, it's tucked up there. Alright. So this one is going on the inside, so it needs to be folded like so. I swear, it's still not square. Look. Holy cow, that's gonna drive me insane. Okay, so now these can go together. Like so. And look, I cut that the exact same size. Guys. It's gonna be the death of me. What did she pass away from? Her paper cutter wouldn't cut straight. Okay, so that'll work. And I want to go ahead and put some pockets. See, that's really pretty. I think I'm going to keep that for something else. Too many decisions. I had planned on doing a pocket this way. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So, I need to just hold this up here and mark it. I'm wanting for it to come to the edge so that whenever I sew the top and the bottom on, it will be caught in those stitches. Or when I sew around the top and the bottom. See, like that. Okay, let me get a thing to prove that that has a pocket. Okay. Like so. Ooh, I think I like that even better because it pops a little bit more. Okay. So let's just cut these the same size. And I'll use that one, that pocket on the back, I guess. I need to get a bigger circle punch, but what are you gonna do? Just work with what you got. I have had so much stuff come from Amazon here lately. Not quite sure what my husband would do with me if I had more coming. Okay. So I know that this is going to be like this. The inside here will not be sewn. I'm actually going to cut that off just a little bit because I don't want for that back to be right in the fold. Just cut a little shear off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a better paper cutter. I think that's my whole problem. I got one of those heavy duty ones that's like a guillotine on the end, but it won't cut 12 by 12 papers. It says that it's supposed to, but it won't. So I'm gonna have to send it back because I can't deal with that. I don't know what the deal is with me and my paper cutters, y'all. Maybe it's easier to blame it on my paper cutter than me. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. So like I said, I want for the stitching to catch the bottom and the side. And look what I just did. I put the pretty pocket on the back like a dodo. So that means I'm going to switch this one. Definitely should have stayed in bed a little longer. I tell y'all, I've had issues sleeping. Going to sleep, staying asleep, whatever, for a long time. And I have been to doctor after doctor. Received more medications for sleep than you can shake a stick at. And I said to myself, self, this should not be that complicated. Like, your body physically needs sleep. There's some of the meds that they gave me, I couldn't even walk. And I'm not a medicine taker. Like, I don't take Tylenol if I don't have to. And so I think because I don't take medicines that often, that when I do take them, it works a little too well. And see, if I would have inked around these, that would have been better. Let me get that. Anyway, what I was getting at was, I ended up, there's an online site where you can go to get your own blood work done without having to go through a doctor. And the doctors at this lab actually review it And if you need a prescription or anything like that, they call you for a virtual visit to discuss your blood work. So the particular test that I had done was only food allergies. And it come back and I'm allergic. No, let me take that back. It's not allergic. It's sensitive to 12 different foods. And that's all I ate was the foods that I was sensitive to. So I took them out of my diet, and I have been going to sleep well, staying asleep well, and actually waking up rested and feeling amazing. So now it's almost like I'm awake and everybody else is asleep, but it's not like it was before. Does that make sense? Okay, let me get my ink. And we will get these inked up. I think that'll make that side pop a little bit. Distress ink. I'm going to use Vintage Photo. Vintage Photo. I have seen some other folks. I have got this little thing, but there's only so many applicator edges for it. And I about think I need to turn it upside down. But I've seen other folks using those makeup dabbers. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those little spongy makeup dabbers. So I thought to myself that I would get some of those for, see, that made it more visible. That's what it needed. Anyway, I thought I would get some of those makeup dabbers and use for the ones that I don't have these little things for. I could, yes, I could go get more of these things, but it drives me insane taking them on and off and on and off and on and off. Because the whole purpose of this, I thought, was to keep your hands clean. But if you're taking off these sponges and putting them back on, what's the point? Okay, that made the pockets look so much better. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew around all 4 edges, and I'll be back in a minute and we'll work on making our signature. Okay, so I'm back. I've got all of that sewed. I have learned the hard way. Like, I sewed with this facing up in my machine, and you see how much better the stitch looks? I don't like how that back edge like that looks where you can see the paper come through. So I think I'm going to start turning it and sewing on the front first. But I think for now this will be fun. This is my experimentation one. And we'll go from there. I'm just going to tie these, the 2 front ones together. I don't go in reverse on the paper because the more you put the needle through the paper, the easier it is to tear. So think of how they make perforated stuff that makes it easy to tear apart. That's kind of what it does with the machine. So I just leave my tails long enough to tie them together. Okie dokie. I think I'm going to round the edges, maybe. Maybe, baby. I don't want to cut the stitches. I don't think I can pinch it. I can't. My wrist, man. Ever since I broke my wrist. Well, that one's messed up. That might be why. Okay. I'm not sticking it all the way in, you guys. Oh, that's better. That's better. That's better. Just enough, because the edges I've noticed fray. And see, I did not cut into any of the stitching at all. Alright, I think I want to distress this up a little and kind of cover up some of that white where it punched the paper through. See the difference? It don't look as obvious as this does. And I just used what I had on my machine, that purple thread. That looks better. I'll let you see the difference in the front and the back before I do the back. Because look at that. Doesn't that look better? I don't know though. You may be a person that doesn't like... See, I like the antique look. I like aged. I mean, everything. I like aged furniture. I like... Even if we make new furniture out of new wood, I want it distressed. I don't know, I think it just kind of puts a look of love to it. You know, like it's been used, it's been loved. Okay. And I think I may do the edge just a little bit, just to kind of even it up a little bit from the front and the back. Yeah, that looks good. Guys, this is the first time I have tried this camera angle, so I'm hoping it's going to be better. I kept going out of frame with the last setup. Okay, so all my pockets are in place. The glue's dried. That looks good. I think I'm going to do the inside now. This whole video is going to be me inking. Inking. But I couldn't have those pockets inked and not have the edges inked. It just didn't look right. It did not look right. And I don't know why I'm talking like the Dracula on... Oh shoot, it just left me. What is that kid's movie? Hotel Transylvania, that's it. My boys will watch something, and they're not big... Like, you know, some kids will watch stuff over and over and over. My kids are not like that. The only thing that they do watch over and over is SpongeBob SquarePants. But at least there's enough episodes. There's a little bit of a different storyline. And what's worse is that my husband can recite as much as SpongeBob as the boys can. So... Anyway, with Hotel Transylvania, they go around saying, blah, blah, blah. And they'll say, I only say it when I say I don't say it. I know if you're watching this, you may not have small kids, but welcome to my world. Okay, so that looks good. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, let's dive into papers. All right, I have got, I don't know if this was coffee dyed or tea dyed. Some of this is stuff my boys helped me work on. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm going to do 15 pages. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this graph paper is, one side is graph and one side is writing paper. 13, 14, 15. And I think I'll do one pretty page inside for a pocket. Okay, this is another Paper Studio paper pack. Country Roads. That's the name of it. I don't know where everybody gets double-sided papers. I can't find double-sided papers anywhere. Nowhere. Maybe I'm just gonna have to order them offline or something. See, that's pretty. That's so pretty. Okay, so that'll be our center pocket. Okay. And I may use some of this because that coordinates well with it. That's a completely different paper pack, but it goes good. I know what it is. This was one of those single papers. So it's a Paper Studio. Elise Floral is the name of it. I think that'll go good on the back side of this where it's really bright. Okay, so we know that we needed 8 3/4. It was 8 3/4 inches. By 8 3/4 inches. So this is 8 1/2, so we won't need to cut it this way. Okay, explain this to me. Hold on, hold up. All right, so from the cutting line over. Okay, so yeah, by the time I trim things off, it's just a little over 8 1/2. So that means with these papers, they're already 8 1/2 this way. I'm not going to have to cut anything. So I just need to cut it. Is this trimmed up too much now? No, that's still 8 3/4. But I probably want to cut those 8 1/2 too, so that they don't bulge out the side. So, got it. Okay, I think I want this side showing. I like those tops. So let's do 8 1/2 by 8 1/2. And 8 1/2. My mother, she hears me calling her mother, I'm in trouble. But my mom, she always said that mother sounded like a bad word. So we had to say mom or mama. But she taught me when I was little because she had been a cashier in her lifetime that you always turn your dollar bills the same way. And so if she would help me, like when I was little, if she would help me count my money, first thing that I knew that I had to do was turn all of it the same way. And see, that one's already 8.5 that way. So obviously, every time I counted money with my mom to learn how to count money, I had learned the prerequisite to that was turn all your bills the same direction. So whenever I count money now, or I get money, or I put money in my wallet, or I get money from the bank, or whatever, I turn it all the same way. And it drives me bonkers. Bonkers. If I get money out of the ATM and it's not all the same way. Like, you know, used to them ATMs were so precise, but oh, y'all are gonna listen to me and think I'm a nut job because I got so many things that drive me bonkers. I don't know. I think being a mama does it to me because, I mean, I've got 3 boys and my husband, and so, you know, I'm responsible for my household, and so the upkeep of the household, and so it's like if everything is a certain way, it makes everything easier to think about. So I don't know. I guess it gives you there. You can't control life. Like, you can't control anything about life. So if there are some things in your life that you can control, for instance, how your bills are turned in your wallet, it makes life a little easier. And like, homeschool my kids, so we have got cubby holes for them, because if I am out or I have an appointment and I have to go somewhere, Dad works from home now during COVID, so I'm not gone as much as I used to be, obviously with COVID and stuff, but anyway, so if I'm going to the store, if I'm going too long to the grocery store or whatever, and it gets to be school time, I have got everything laid out in their cubby for the next day. So when we do school, I lay out the next day's work in their cubby, and they automatically know what they work on. So it makes it really easy for them to just get started, especially on their handwriting, because that doesn't require my help. But anyway, having that stuff organized, and there's a specific place where they put their completed work, and I don't know, it just makes things seem less stressful, I guess. Oh, it is amazing when I turn this camera on, the things that come to my brain. Holy cow. Okay, so we got all of the papers folded, and they're in there, and I'm completely okay with it sticking out a little bit, because like I said, this is mine just for my thoughts. And when I make the formal cover for this, I can make it big enough that it will take care of that. But I love the shabby chic stuff. So I do want to make that center pocket for here. So let's do 8.5 by 8.5 again. No, you know what? I'm going to fold this up to make a pocket. That's what I'm going to do. So let's get to 8.5 down here. And then I will just make sure that I fold the paper on this line down here. And we know it's going to be 8.5. So let me double check it. Yep, see, 8.5 tall. Perfecto, perfecto, perfecto. Now we need for it to be 8.5 this way. I'm going to make it just like 2 centimeters shy, because it's in the very middle and I don't want for it to be sticking out much further. Alright, I'm going to do this because we know that makes it so much easier to see. I hear movement upstairs, but not too much, so I don't know who that is. My boys sleep late, and I have to generally wake them up. We do not do school first thing in the morning because they can't concentrate. They can't. And I used to try to force it, but there's no reason for all that. Okay, I'm going to put just enough glue to hold this, and I'm going to sew this around the edge too. So I want to start my glue about right here. See, so you can tell where the pocket was, so that it's down just a little bit lower than the pocket. Man, I didn't mean to get that in the stitch line. Just wanted enough to hold it on there. Dewy. I'm going to have a sticky needle. Okay, so I'm going to stand up, make sure I cover all the glue so my pocket doesn't seal. And I'm going to line it up on this edge. Press. Now I did the roses sideways. Oh well, we got upside down roses and sideways roses. That's life, people. That's life, people. Alright. So I'm going to cut this. I'm just going to cut it with my scissors because I got a straight edge to go by. I've got to get me a pair of, there's another pair of scissors that have long handles and you don't put your fingers in them like that, so you mash them and they're spring loaded, and supposedly it's supposed to be easier on your hands. And I never have had problems with scissors, but I broke my wrist back in September and I've got a plate in there that they use to put it all back together. And if I do things for too long, it does get really sore. And I never would have thought that breaking a wrist would make your hand hurt up in here. But apparently the way that you break it sometimes, like I fell. And so when I fell on the ground like this and my bone was popping like that way. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse y'all out. But apparently when I did that, it splintered. And so the top, I broke the big bone. So when I did that, part of it kind of went this way. And it hurt my... Oh, come on, it just lost me. Ligaments and tendons in there. So if I use them for an extended amount of time, they get sore. And you know that thing I said a minute ago about I'm not a big pill taker. I I don't know. I worked in a gastroenterologist's office for years, and I seen the effects of prolonged medication use on like the liver and the stomach. And you know, some people have to take them, and I get that, and I'm not judging anybody, but I just about have to be in tears before I'll take anything. Okay, so I'm going to go stitch around this right quick, and then I'll be back, and we'll sew all of this together. Okay, I'm back. So I got that sewed. I am hoping that I did not just record all of this and it not keep. We will see. Okay, so I'm going to tie these together. And guys, I'm just going to explain here for just a second, because when I got up to turn my camera back on after I paused it, or what I thought I paused, it looks like there's only been 4 minutes recording, which means you've missed everything that I've babbled about. Okay, so just to recap in case, and I'm sorry if I'm recapping and it did record and you've seen it all, just bear with me because I want to make sure I got my bases covered, okay? Okay, so a minute ago when I turned the camera off, again, recapping in case, we had put the pockets in, I sewed around it, I come back and I inked around the front and the back, and this is our cover. Then I've cut our papers. I've cut 15 pages. They're 8.5 by 8.5, folded in half, and then I've got a piece of 12 by 12 paper and folded it up to make the pockets here so I don't have any glue. And then this was a separate piece of paper, and I glued it down because this was not a double-sided page. See, like this. So this was a 12 by 12 piece of paper. I folded the top up to make the pocket, glued a piece of paper to cover this, sewed around the edges, and I had inked right here before I had took it over to the sewing machine. So in case it missed the entire first thing, this is exactly what I did to the cover. I just sewed around it, inked around it. I did round the corners. I'm going to round these corners as well, because not cutting into that stitch, because when I put it in my traveler's notebook, it seems like that helps hold the elastic a little better. Hubby's up. You're going to hear screaming in a minute. Telling me to get ready.
Come on, Mama.
Okay, be right up.
Go.
We are going fishing. So, he's a little bit excited. I'm excited too. We've not been out since last year, and it's supposed to be 65 here today. So, okay, so this is my insert, and I'm putting it in there. I want to get this done really quick though, because this is the whole point of me making this. So really quick, I've just got everything together really tight, pinching it down at the end. Make sure that it's tucked down in that, down here in the fold. Make sure it's all tucked in there. I do them catty cornered to hold everything in place. I come back and pinch it again. Make sure it's all in place. Pinching it here. You can hear him telling the boys to get up. Okay, so super quick. Running out of time. He's gonna come get me. Okay, so I've got this sitting on a book, so it will take this. Holding my my little template of where to push holes. And I punched my holes. They're not exactly, because I'm rushing, not exactly where I wanted them to be, but they'll work. So I got my 3 holes. Okay. This is wax thread. So you take 3 times the length of your book. 1, 2, 3. Put it on your needle. And guys, this is just what they call a pamphlet stitch. If this is going too fast for you because I'm in a rush, you can just find somebody else's videos that explain it. Okay, so this is my bottom. I'm going to go in through the center hole. And I can't grip that well, so sometimes I have to use pliers to pull my needle through. Okay, got it through. I want to leave a tail down here. Okay, so I went down through the center, and now my needle's back here. Now I'm going to go in through the bottom. Again, still holding on to that tail. I'm going to pull it tight. I'm holding on to this thread over here to keep my thread from getting in my needle so I don't cut my needle up, or my thread up down here. I'm going back through the center hole. Hold on to my tail again. Pull this tight. I'm going to tighten it all up in a minute because it's still loose on the back. Okay, go in through the top hole back here. Okay, so now my tail is on this side, so I want to stick my needle under my thread this way so that I have got a tail over here and a tail over here. You want to make sure that we look at the back, make sure they're tight. They are. And we're going to tie this in a double knot. And you can tie them in a bow if you want to. I never do. I just end up tying charms. Take these off. And close it. And voila, you've got a traveler's notebook with pockets. So I did not do any frou-frou on this because I want for it to be for note taking. So, yeah. I am going to take these scraps really quick because he's going to start getting after me. I'm supposed to be getting ready to go fishing. I'm just going to fold them scraps in half. And for right now, I'm just going to put staples in the top. Later, I can take a piece of fabric and cover those up, and you will never know. I'm going to tuck that. I think I'm going to tuck it in here. And I think I'm going to take a couple of little scraps, like so. Tuck them in here, just so that I can have some little places to write. And I think I'll take a scrap of this, so that if I want to write on the back of things and then stick it on the page, I can. Take this. stick it in here, and we are good to go. And we'll make the actual leather cover later, but this is one of the inserts. So there is a quick traveler's notebook insert, junk journal style. I'm not exactly sure how long this video is, but yeah, didn't take long at all. So thank you guys for coming along with me. I better go get ready to go fishing. Bye.